white ship. She was one of the fastest vessels that was ever built. The man who should be king of the English now, the son of King Henry, was on board when she sailed off. And with the prince there were 140 knights and many nobles, all on their way from Normandy to England. They say the ship hit the rocks, and then a fire broke out. Even before the white ship had departed, the prince and his men had begun to drink and get violent. Monks that were meant to bless the voyage were then forced to disembark. Some say the ship had been cursed. The king's son and many of his family were pulled down into the Black Sea that night.
You're forgetting one important detail. Not only these monks, but also Stephen of Blois, the king's nephew, left the ship before it embarked. They say he got ill.
That old rumor.
The same Stephen who calls himself the King of the English now.
What? That cannot be a coincidence.
Yes, it can be. Of course he's king now. He survived. He is the king's nephew.
What do you think, my lord?
I think Stephen is a clever man. Clever enough to have his whole family perish. But why he would want to rule that god-forsaken rock, I will never understand.
What makes you say that? I love my country.
Then why are you leaving?
Well, because I want to see something new.
I'll tell you what you're going to see. A proper country, where people know how to behave.
What about you? Why are you leaving?
I had no reason to stay.
Really? Huh. I guess I should stay out of other people's business. Forgive me.
You English do talk a lot, don't you?
I just don't know how to feel about leaving my country for the first time. I mean, how should anyone feel?
Hopeful?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just running away.
You should all get some rest. It will not be long now till we reach Cherbourg.
Thank the Lord. I can't wait to be back.
In the late summer of 1142, I had left my home country, England, for good. My old life lay in shambles, as did my former home of Kingsbridge. Having failed both my friends and family, I had set out to find my baby's father, the man I still loved with all my heart, Jack Jackson. And so early one morning in July, I finally arrived on the shores of Normandy. With nothing on me but a pouch of coin and a young, curious face yet unnamed, who was just as unfamiliar to this new world as was I. You're still here?
Oh, I'm just trying to get my feet used to good... The last bit of our voyage wasn't exactly my pint of...
I'm looking for someone. A red-haired mason called Jack. He came to France about a year ago or so.
A fellow mason, great.
I know, but should you meet, tell him Aliena of...
All right. Jack.
Thank you. That hammer you're carrying...
Actually, I am.
I guess I just know him.
To be honest, I haven't been one long. Just finished my apprentice. Before that, I used to shear sheep with my parents. But I guess that wasn't real. Father still hates me for leaving, though.
What will you do to find work?
Don't know. That's all I heard was that the wages are better over here.
So you'll just travel from...
Right. And I'll stop. A fellow mason told me about the abbey there. I need to see that with my own eyes. Maybe...
Do many masons?
Dunno. It's really just a time. The mason who told me just happened to do some repairs there once. It's likely he told others as well.
I left my old life as well.
Scary, isn't it? To start off fresh and all that. Oh, I am excited. Wouldn't anyone be?
I don't know. Have a safe journey.
Oh, thank you. I really should stay away. I'm still all to and
Do many masons go?
Dunno. The mason who told me just happened to do... It's likely he...
Good day. I am looking for someone. Oh, hush now.
Looks young.
He was born at the...
What's his name?
I haven't given...
You should. He needs to know who he is. Makes growing up a lot easier. You said you're looking for someone.
The man I'm looking for...
So he has red hair. Well, I don't know every redhead around these parts. There are quite a few of us. Most of my family here in Cherbourg is ginger.
Oh, wait.
No. No, sorry. I haven't seen him. And I come here maybe May saw him. She helps the sailors get their cargo to the nearby...
I'll ask her.
Well, that's quite far.
I don't think this will...
Hey, you. That's quite a bundle you got there. Where are you headed?
Have you seen a red-haired mason? You must have landed here sometime late last summer.
Another ginger in Normandy? I wouldn't have noticed, even if he was carrying a hammer instead of a fishing rod. Maybe you should ask someone in Barfleur. That's where all the travellers come through, the pilgrims and kings. Their lot rarely lands in Cherbourg with the fortress passing back and forth between Stephen of Blois and Jeff. Why you even came to Cherbourg in the first place?
It was the earliest ship I could get.
You must be in some hurry.
Let's just say I needed to get away.
Fine with me. Who am I to...
Do you know the road to Lessay?
Been there, seen it. But I hope you're not planning to go there on foot. Tell you what, you give me some... You can even change your destination once we're on the road, would you say?
All right.
All right. Where do you need to be?
We went to Barfleur, a scenic port town built on granite. It was the biggest harbour in Normandy, and I talked to some of the sailors and fishermen, but no one had remembered seeing Jack. How could they? Almost a year had passed since he... Maybe I was approaching this the wrong way. What had drawn him to France in the first place? I arrived in Harfleur and finally got a lead. In an inn, a man remembered a red-haired Englishman who had planned to head past Lessay to the Mont Saint-Michel. I thanked him and was about to leave when a group of pilgrims asked me over to their table. They told me that they too were heading for Mont Saint-Michel, and although they had no intentions to stop in Lessay, Lessay was tiny, but as it turned out, worth the trip. In the small abbey church of the Trinity, I met a monk who claimed to have talked to a man fitting Jack's description. He'd been fascinated by the abbey's rib vaulting and had asked the monks countless questions. I lay down to sleep on the floor of the abbey guest house and, for the first time in almost a year, I felt My father had once told me tales of the Mont Saint-Michel. Long ago, the Archangel Michael had urged Hubert of Avranches to build an abbey on a lonely rock on the ocean by burning a hole. It was a windy day when I arrived, and the place was crowded with pilgrims and jongleurs. I remembered Jack's fascination with these tellers of stories. I spoke to one. Apparently, Jack had been hopelessly tracking jongleurs who might have known his father, Jack Cherbourg. But as he'd been gradually running out of money, he'd intended to look for work in Le Mans or Tours. That was about 6... Going to Le Mans reminded me of all the trouble I'd left behind in England. 30 years ago, Le Mans had been conquered by the Plantagenet Geoffrey of Anjou, Maud's husband. And although they'd held it ever since, other noble families kept on... There was no sign of Jack, but I got news of a new kind of cathedral being built in Saint-Denis, just north of Paris. It was possible that Jack had gone there to learn from the craftsmen. That was, if he hadn't travelled further south, looking for work in one of the many churches. Good day. Are you the master builder?
What is it?
I'm looking for a mason who may have passed through here. An Englishman with carroty hair.
A redhead?
Yes. Did you see him? He might have asked for work here.
No, I'm not looking for new masons.
Ah, but was he here?
No, never seen him. Now, stand back, woman. Something could fall on your baby's head.
Are there other construction sites around Tours?
Well, yes, it's a big town.
And where would an outsider most likely find a job?
Dunno. Ask around.
May I talk to your workers?
No, they're busy. And
Perhaps I'll talk to them once they've finished for the...
it would be a waste of time.
You hesitated when I mentioned a redhead. Are you sure you haven't seen...
Yes, I am sure. All right, he was here. Was working for me. But I had to throw him out after 2 or 3 days.
Why?
Because he was all want. Let me redesign the roof, let me make the nave lighter. All pretty ideas, but he never shut up long enough to do the work he was supposed... Shit, that man was almost as needy as my son when he was still a...
He does know a lot.
Well, I know masons like him. They grow up gifted, but without them, can't work with someone like that.
Do you know where he went next?
No idea. Maybe to Limoges or Angoulême. Seemed to have plans for every cathedral on God's green earth, but none for himself.
I understand. I'll leave you to it.
Bon voyage.
We had just left Tours when I suddenly felt dizzy. I stopped and made rest, trying to catch my breath. To my horror, our baby too had grown pale, his breath shallow like that of an old man. Back in Tours, the fever got worse. I remember people carrying me into a room, laying me on a bed. When I awoke, Jack was standing. He scolded me for following him. "You know you could go anywhere you want," he whispered. "Why be stupid and follow me?" I tried to answer, but he just opened the window and jumped out, heading toward ancient Greece, or maybe all the way... The further I went, the angrier I got. For years, I'd been fighting for my family. I'd committed myself to an oath to my father. I'd built up a business to sustain it, and even married. I'd known nothing but my duty to the men in my life, while the man I was trying to find lived a life of casual irresponsibility. When could I ever do anything just for myself? I'd travelled in a circle all the way to the edge of the world and back, only to return to the place of our failure. With my eyes closed, I listened to the sound of ripping... When the last moat had settled, I opened my eyes again and found myself in a dirty little room. An old maid was sitting next to my bed. Oh, dear God, he still looked... I tried to feed him, but he refused. Oh, please, God, let him live. Don't punish him. I gently caressed his head until finally he put his mouth to my breast and drank and drank. We had both been spared. We rested one more day. Then I... Where did you go? This isn't a good place for praying. I thank you.
All right, steady now.
Thank you for having spared my child. I thank you for...
Don't let go until it's done.
But why are you showing mercy on me? I failed everyone I cared about. I failed Jack. I failed my brother. And if I never return, I would also break the oath I had given Father. It's just that I feel like I've always, and this may be the very first. Maybe I should just go. Maybe Jack doesn't even care. Amen. Huh. I've seen one of those before.
It's amazing, isn't it? The man who did that really had it in him.
I agree. He always...
Oh, you knew, Master.
Yes, but...
It's a shame that the Master let him. In just 1 month, he did so many things.
The Master Builder said he'd...
Did he? The two didn't really see eye to eye. To tell you the truth, everyone thinks that he feared for his own job, having someone like that around. The last thing Jack did was carve that corbel. It was the one thing the Master let him do. Then when he was done, he was asked to leave.
Your master...
Let me tell you, Jacques worked very hard on. He was impatient and had a temper, but you conquering that rock was...
Oh. Do you happen to know where he went next?
He wanted to walk the pilgrim trail to Santiago de Compostela.
The Camino? The way of...
He said he might find someone there who...
Just one more thing.
Relieved, I guess. He seemed ready for some...
Thank you so much for...
Think nothing of... And good luck on your travels.
Isn't it odd? Just when you stop looking, you come across the most curious of things. Like these 3 devices that one of my merchants brought back from Baghdad.
Oh no. Is it another one of your Banu Musa toys, Rashid? They're not toys, Adriel. They're objects of scholarly ingenuity and reflection.
I will let my valued friend from the north do the honors. Jack, if you may. For one, let me draw your attention to the magnificent songbird on the table. On second thought, otherwise the other 2 devices might appear bland.
I agree.
And then to that wondrous donkey next to the entrance. Although the most astounding thing of all stands right between them.
That statuette?
Ha-ha, precisely. But one thing at a time. Let us let Jack decide what to demonstrate first.
And now?
Now, Jack will heat the water in the tank. It's so beautiful, it just listen.
Well, how marvelous! How does it work?
Maybe it's a miracle.
Right.
Go on, Jack.
There's a hidden wheel inside the box. It turns an axle that in return raises and drops a sequence of small cylinders inside. These cylinders work like fingers playing a flute.
But who is blowing into the flute?
Steam.
Steam?
Yes. When I opened the pipe, it gradually pushed itself into the tube.
The power of steam. For once, I must agree, this is brilliant. Of course! It was created by a Muslim after all. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. What else have you got, Rashid?
Anyone care for some tea?
Thank you, my daughter. We will have some soon.
Mind if I watch?
Of course.
So, who is this man, Rashid?
Jack is a friend of the house. A brilliant man, a scholar and a talented artist. Just the other day, he explained Euclid to me. What is
Don't
that?
let me distract you, Jack.
A Greek who wrote a book called The Elements of Geometry.
No, it's too heavy.
The Egyptians translated it into Arabic, and now the Englishmen are turning it into Latin.
How very peculiar. I could watch this man scoop.
Now, watch the head. Just any moment now. There. Did you see?
It threw up.
Rashid, this is disgusting.
Oh, far from it. Would you kindly explain how it works, Jack?
You see that bowl floating on top of the water? At the bottom of that bowl is a small hole. Through it, the bowl is slowly filled with liquid. Once it's full, it sinks, pulling a string which makes the ball drop onto a weight. This, in return, pulls the bowl up again, emptying it in the process.
Thus resetting the entire mechanism.
If you timed it perfectly, you could make it drop a ball at every hour.
Turning it into a clock.
How clever.
For me, it's still nothing more than a puking donkey.
Show us more.
One could join those two and build a singing dog. One song after.
That would be...
I know, right? You could be the one to build.
Oh, that would be unfair. It's your invention.
I would let you have it. Or...
You still haven't shown us that.
Of course, Jack. Oh, you will love this. Just watch.
And now?
Just be patient, but don't look away. It takes some time for her to...
To do what?
Is it crying?
Isn't that amazing?
No, it's irritating. Rashid, what is going on?
It's a mystery.
Rashid, please.
We all know that there is no such thing as a man-made miracle.
And this piece of wood is very clearly made by man.
I very much agree, my friends. But so far, none of us has an explanation.
All we know for certain is that her glassy eyes shed tears when you move her from warmth into cold.
Like a plant at sunrise. Like dew. The only difference is the surface. That's all.
I think you may be on.
Am I? Of course, I had no intent, but if you can find out why there's dew gathering on a plant... So, who wants a...
I'll have some.
Your daughter is quite something, Rash.
I know. I'd rather she wasn't. It would make marrying her off so much...
Oh, I'm certain that won't stay a problem for long.
Maybe the dew originates from invisible water in the air, water that stays hidden when it's hot.
The pilgrim trails across France converged at Osterberg. There, the group of 20 or so pilgrims who had been travelling alongside me since I'd left Tours swelled. Some were prosperous citizens, some probably on the run from several languages were spoken, including Flemish, a German tongue, and nevertheless, there was no lack of communication among them. And as we crossed the Pyrenees, while my baby and I kept mostly to ourselves.
Ganz schön frech, die mit ihrem Kind.
Hush now.
Richtig dreist. Kann ein Mann nicht einfach mal seine Ruhe haben? Der Weg aus Babenberg war doch anstrengend genug. Ein Kind hat ja auch gar nichts verloren. Stimmt doch, oder?
Psst, jetzt ist...
Tomorrow. Dear Lord, what are you doing? You should get out of the water.
My ring! I lost. Dear Lord, please show mercy. Come back to me. Please come back to me.
The cold will kill...
I can't leave. Where are you? Where did you go?
I found it.
Yes! Oh, thank you. Thank you. You are a very kind woman.
I'm glad I could...
Yes.
I can see this ring is very precious to you.
It was a gift from my stepmother. She thought I would stay forever, but I didn't.
Why did you leave?
Oh, I thought I didn't belong. She always said I was her daughter, but I was so selfish and so stupid.
Tell me about...
She was such a kind...
Maybe you...
I was very young. and thought I was... But in the end, the sea did not feel... The cold there made me sick.
It was courageous of you to leave. You did what your heart told you to.
I was stupid. So stupid.
Ah, that's why you...
Yes. So that St. James might... I'm just not as kind as you.
You're too hard.
I don't know.
I, too, am trying to make amends. With the one man I was told he went straight to...
You will know soon.
Not soon enough. It's still 4 weeks.
He'll be there, I'm sure.
I hope so. I just feel that with every day that passes, and that the only thing I can allow myself still to hope. Hey, hush. Not long now, and our journey will... The woman's name was Alba. She came from a small town somewhere in Catalonia. I quickly got used to her constantly feeling out for her stepmother's... I wasn't sure if she appreciated my company, but I couldn't leave her on her own either. By the time we reached Los Arcos, she'd stopped talking, while I... Alba believed herself to be of weak mind and body, and yet she walked the Camino with a strong sense of purpose that willed her onward. But what was there to forgive? My decision to marry Alfred had been in the best interest of the people of Shiring. It was a... Around Lyon, the path began to gradually turn uphill. It was only 2 more weeks till we'd reached Sant... After Astorga, the trail got more difficult. Alba became slower and slower, and we had to rest more. She became quiet again. The next morning, she refused to get up. Her breathing was disturbingly shallow, and she hardly noticed. Of course, I stayed with her. I brought her food and water and sat by her side. But day after day, her condition grew worse. She kept on urging me to go, to find... I'd hardly known her, and most of the time she'd tried to push me away, as if she considered herself a nuisance that slowed me down. It wasn't until a few moments before she died that, for the first... I still like to believe that here, in this unlikely place, dying next to a near... When I left, that thought still haunted me. To see that a journey could come to an end. After months of hard travel, the child and I finally reached Santiago de Compostela. In the evening, we attended Mass in the great cathedral, then started to roam the town looking for my dear Jack. It was almost dawn when finally a priest pointed me to an inn close by. Buenos dias. I was told a friend of mine, a red-haired Englishman called... Français? I'm looking for... Have you seen... She doesn't even...
Que cousinha.
See, red. Can you give us...
Se queres xantar, sinto-cho, pero...
Have you seen his Jack Jackson?
Ven sendo
What?
É un pere...
Oh, he's not a pilgrim.
Entón, que...
Let me show you something. He's a mason.
Ai, mal rayo me partas, entendo o que me estás a contar.
Oh, is there someone in...
Nena, que...
A translator.
Agora mesmo, case che di...
He's a Jean...
Ai, na miña xa tem...
You don't seem to like Jean. He's just a... Oh, I bet that doesn't... Let me show you some... She knows that Jack... Now I need to somehow... I was told he...
Dis que horror... Ah, xa sei. Xurxo!
Que foi?
O raparigo este...
Pois...
No, he's not the...
Semella que des...
He's a mason. He builds things like that.
Ah!
Sí,
Por... Non me pode...
Oín falar dun masón que dis que se dedica a traducir libros en Toledo.
Polo visto...
Yes, Jack!
Non sei cal será o seu apelido, pero... Ben é certo que se tan desesperada está...
Entón, marchou...
He went...
A Toledo marchou...
Di que o teu Jack...
All right, so Gracinia, I just pray. Buenos dias. Parlez-vous français? English?
Of course. How may I help you?
I was told a man named Jack...
Who told you this?
A group of scholars living at the edge of town. They said he used to translate old scriptures about mathematics.
Please wait here. I will talk with Master...
It's him.
Oh, there you are. May I ask who let you stroll around?
I was asked...
Yes, my servant told... My father's not here at the moment, so you'll... Unfortunately, I must disappoint you. There's no...
He must be here. I found his slingshot.
What? Who allowed you inside my father's archive?
I didn't mean to be disrespectful of your hospitality.
I just hope for your sake you didn't touch anything. Every piece in there is precious to my father, even that slingshot. Oh, I'm sorry. I think you should know that Jack and I are promised to each other. Maybe we should go inside. The sun's burning, and my mother doesn't need to hear us. Jack told me about you. You are alien. You're the one who rejected him and married his... And now you want him back.
I'm sorry. I didn't know he was engaged to someone else. It's not my intention to cause you two any trouble.
He always said that he had come here to find out about his family. But instead, he found out about everything else. When he and my father met, it was love at first sight. But in the end, Jack would always start talking about his cathedral again. Rib vaults and pointed windows. He'd ramble on about it for hours and stare up at that ceiling. We three sat here for hours and talked. So many strange ideas about the future. Some barely more than...
You're talking about...
Well, he's not here anymore. My father had offered him work as a master builder. He would have been well off and free to spend his evenings under... But in the end, he refused. Tell me, did you really marry his stepbrother?
It was the hardest decision I ever made. But it also felt like a sacrifice I had to make to fulfill a promise. It was all for nothing. I thought I had no choice. Believe me.
I do. You know, he left me because of you. Even after all you did to him, you can be glad that you ran into me and not my mother. But apart from that, Father even gave him one of his favourite pieces of his collection, a small wooden statue with stone.
Would you mind telling me where?
He went to Paris to work on the Cathedral of Saint. He said he never found out about his father, so there was...
Paris?
Yes, if you find him there, tell him I...
Thank you, and all the best to your family.
Thank you.
Well, he has none yet. I wouldn't name him without...
Isn't that a bit silly?
But he's his son. It's his right to have a say in it.
Then off to Paris.
He will get one. I travelled back along the Way of St. James, passing through Astorga, Lyon and Burgos. I crossed the Pyrenees, revisiting Bordeaux, Angoulême. If Jack really was there... I was sure I would slap him for running away without a word. No, I'll find... They'll only tell me to leave. They always do. There. Are we awake then? You almost missed this. Look at these colourful windows. Look at the light.
Ali.
We came to see you, Jack.
We? Is he?
He is your son.
My son?
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. Ali, where do we go from here?
Wherever we go, I want to go with you.
Will you marry me? Both of you.
We will. We stayed in Paris as husband and wife. And our son, Tommy. The days went by quickly. Jack had learned much working as a builder in Saint-Denis. Days became months. Then after a year, we both grew restless. Where can we go from here, we asked ourselves again. We both confessed that we wanted to see our families, our friends. And then we knew where we wanted to go. Home. Even if it was in shambles.
We need to hurry. The ship to England will leave soon.
What's going on here?
Whatever it is, if the crowd doesn't clear up, we'll miss our ship. Could make the horse get their attention.
Or ride it through the crowd.
That sounds a bit...
Yes.
Do you know what's going on?
Oh, chaos. I can't get these people to calm down. God knows I tried.
What happened?
The jongleur told the crowd a few stories. Then he sold people some miracle charms, but it was just fairy tales and painted stones.
Well, it always is.
I know, but I'd need a real miracle to calm them down now. Otherwise, they'll rip him apart.
Behold, the Holy Virgin!
If it takes a miracle to make these fools stop, then give them one.
You're right. I have to make her weep. It's the only way. Do you see? It's working.
Your friend Rashid must be quite the miracle worker.
What's going on? The Holy Mother. She's crying.
Revere the Holy Mother, for she has blessed us with a sign from the heavens. Cease your doings right now and witness the miracle.
It's true. Lord in heaven. Why is she crying?
She weeps for your sins. What has this man done to you that you would treat him like a wild animal?
He tricked us and took our coin.
And you would kill him for your own foolishness. The Holy Virgin weeps, for you are not living by the word of God.
It is the Mother of God.
Forgive us, Holy Mother. Where did she come from?
For hundreds of years, she languished in the land of the Saracens. Dormant, she has been waiting for the one to bring her home.
Listen to what he has to say. The Holy Virgin has chosen this young family to protect her. Tell us all where you are headed.
Her destination is beyond these waters, in the small town of Kingsbridge, in the earldom of Shiring. There she wants to rest.
Kingsbridge? Where's that?
Hail Mary!
Make way for the Holy Virgin!
Hallelujah!
Make Robert well!
Huh?
Blessed Mary, let my daughter conceive!
Give us a good harvest!
They're donating to ask for her blessing.
Oh. The weeping Madonna shall hear your prayer. And with your donations, I shall build her a new shrine at Kingsbridge, a cathedral.
It's you!
Who do you mean?
You! The red-haired ghost!
Me? A ghost?
My husband is very much alive. I've known him since he was 12 years old.
But he drowned. By God, you drowned. 24 years ago. On the white ship. My poor son. My Jacques.
His name was Jacques.
Jacques Cherbourg.
Jacques Cherbourg.
So much has grown, but there are no roots, no herbs.
What are you looking at, Jonathan?
The garden is in disorder. I want it to be right again, but I don't know how to do it.
Before I became prior, I thought the same about Kingsbridge.
Well, what did you do?
I cleaned up.
Where do we start?
Some plants...
What are weeds?
They take away what the other plants need to grow. Light, water, room.
What do we do?
Pluck them. They look a lot like every other plant, so you need to learn how to tell them. Here, you see those? They're called wood sorrel. Let's pluck only those for now.
I'll do it.
If you insist. Make sure to pull out all of the thin roots.
And now what do I do?
For plants to take root.
So, may I dig? Done. What's next?
Plants also need plenty of water.
I think it's better if I put the seed in the ground first.
Indeed. Stay here. I'll be right back. Now, where did you... Ah, here they are. I found these nuts for you. Remember, Milius? You always said that one day there will be a beech tree growing here. I think it's about time.
What did you bring?
Do you remember Milius? A kind man with a warm smile. Well, he told me to give you this.
Wow!
Now we just have to wait.
All right.
How long?
Too long for us to keep sitting here. Some things take time, and only with patience.
Why do we have to do all these things?
Simply waiting would not have been enough. You just paved the way for things to... They are happening right now. And in a few days' time, we will return.
Oh.
Maybe.
Does he make things grow?
You...
No. I just...
Now you can fetch some water from the rain barrel.
But that water's smelly. It's been there forever. There are many trees by the river. I bet that water's better.
That's a longer walk, though.
I don't mind. The distance is worth it.
Maybe you're right. It is worth it. Let's walk together, then.
But I'll carry the bucket.
isn't religious holding the sermon.
What's gotten into Philip? Our church lies in ruins. But all of this, these dire times, have revealed something important to us. Something that, maybe until today, I wasn't aware of.
What do you mean?
God doesn't watch us from above. While you and I have waited for God to make things better, a lot has happened. Hardships and happiness. Yesterday, I heard the choir sing a new chant and was moved beyond words. Today, Jonathan tended to our garden to make it beautiful again. And he told me of things I almost had forgotten. God doesn't work in the ways. All good and all evil the scripture tells us about are not out there or in here. They are within each of us. God made us in His image. Thus we carry the godly spark within us. But we have witnessed that man can have the devil. Prayer needs no special place. In our actions, he exists.
We are God's temple.
No man is closer to God than any other. Whether you pray in church or on the streets of our towns. Whether you're a man.
Philip, look outside. You have to see them. You've got to see the horses and the colours.
Jonathan. Now, what's going on?
I heard noises and I went to look.
Calm down. What happened?
But the priest said they brought a miracle.
Who? What? What priest?
Step right up, brothers and sisters. For you are about to see something that will change your life.
Who is that?
They brought us a miracle.
A miracle?
Don't be shy. There is no danger, just awe that awaits you here. Ah, you must be Prior Philip. I am Brother Reynold. I have been sent by the Archbishop of Canterbury. Here is his letter, in case you have reasonable doubts. We've been charged to accompany the weeping. She is to replace the loss of your relic, St. Adolphus the...
What?
On her travel from far away Africa, she has collected donations.
I can't believe this. What is all?
You do believe. That is why she came. The Weeping Madonna came to me in a faraway land named Africa. A baptized Saracen was her former guardian.
What country did you say you came from?
We have traveled all the way from a place of wonders, the faraway land of Africa.
Africa has many countries, I've heard.
Yes, it does. I knew not her powers or destination. Nevertheless, I carried her for many miles.
If what you brought us comes from such a wondrous place, it must be very impressive.
Indeed. Soon you too shall witness the miracle of the Holy Madonna. Many bore witness to her miracle before it dawned upon me.
Excuse me.
Don't interrupt.
But I wondered, what shrine should be her shelter?
Hey!
Shh! She said, "You shall build me a new church in Kingsbridge." So we set off, with the blessing of Archbishop Theobald of Canterbury.
What's it like in...
The sun is always shining. It's a land of great deserts, fig trees, and creek...
Like these horses.
Ah, they are not. To you, they might resemble horses. And along the road, from Paris, across Normandy, it's a fruit. It looks like a strawberry.
The scripture mentions these figs.
No two apples look or taste.
I'm getting the impression that this man has never eaten. But why would he lie?
The Weeping Madonna has chosen you, all of you. You heard me correctly. It was a long journey.
My dear people.
Oh, I'm so excited. Did you hear that? The Madonna has...
She's come all the way from...
The Weeping Madonna came to me in a faraway land named...
Tell me the truth.
Africa. We are guardians of the hope. We were appointed by the Archbishop, but it was the Holy Virgin herself who chose.
Oh, yes. How did that...
She speak...
A baptized Saracen was her former guardian, and I am the custodian...
Baptized?
A Saracen? And I will tell you again.
That's not fit for a shrine.
She
but I
is a
think
true
strange.
miracle. That
Nothing
will change
sacred.
Your life as she changed mine. Many bore witness to her miracle before it dawned upon me. She wanted to go home, but where? It came to me in a dream. It was Kingsbridge. I will tell you again, dear brothers
They look
and sisters,
almost like...
the Weeping Madonna has chosen
hollow.
you.
Feels like a wicker basket covered in...
I could have continued to carry her.
What do you think of this?
They seem well intended, and we could use the mud.
Until my flesh succumbed. But this was not her will.
Brother Reynold. I've heard of a Reynold from the coast. A scheming drunkard who lives as a traveling monk.
You think that's him?
Perhaps it is, perhaps it's not. I don't trust him either way.
But I wondered, what
Jonathan?
should be
They're about to show the miracle.
This time, it was the Madonna herself. You must be thinking, how can he be so sure? In the beginning, I was not. I only had my faith. I knew not her powers
What is in this
or
book
destination.
will not help me more than the answers I can find in my own
Nevertheless,
heart.
I carried her for many miles. I will tell you again, dear brothers and sisters, the Weeping Madonna has chosen you, all of you. I could have continued to carry her from town to town until my flesh succumbed. But this was not her will. But I wondered, what shrine should be her shelter? This time, it was the Madonna herself who answered my questions.
Please, everyone.
Shh! We want to listen.
And I will tell you again.
Do you speak English?
No English.
I think you might have stepped in.
What? Where?
No English.
Just on.
Could you talk to this man?
Yes, it's strange. He was quite tall. He told me he was from Damascus and...
Isn't Damascus in a...
There's one in Africa too.
Why are you pretending you can't speak English?
No, inglese.
She is a true...
Another question.
Bonjour. Mi no comprendrà.
She changed mine.
I don't like. There's something...
Many bore witness
Remigius
to her
thinks this is
miracle.
suspicious. This time, he might use...
It dawned upon me.
Did you hear what he said? What is this?
She wanted
He's
to
too
go
excited.
home.
I don't like it.
But where? It came to me in a dream. It was Kingsbridge. I could have continued to carry her from town to town.
So you're telling me
until
this...
my flesh
A miracle.
succumbed. But this was not her will. But I wondered, what shrine should be her shelter? This time, it was the Madonna herself who answered my questions. You must wonder, why was Kingsbridge chosen to be the home of the Holy Virgin?
I am Philip. Who are you, young man?
You shall build me a new church in Kingsbridge.
Why are you
So
hiding?
we set off with the blessing of Archbishop Theobald of Canterbury. And I will tell you again, she is a true miracle that will change. Many bore witness to her miracle before it dawned upon. She wanted to go home, but when? It came. Can you feel it? Brothers and sisters, you are about to witness a miracle. The Madonna knows how you have suffered. The Virgin Mother had to witness the rise and fall of her Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, and never stopped believing. Kingsbridge has endured many hardships. Prior James left you before his time when you needed him the most. Your old cathedral was burned to the ground.
How do you know this?
And your new one collapsed even before construction was finished. You have suffered the ruthless destruction of your market, homes, and lives.
Dada!
All of you have lost husbands, wives, and children, family and friends.
Dada!
All of you know how it is to be hungry and afraid.
Jack. Aliena.
Philip.
But this is...
A miracle, isn't it? Or something along those lines.
But how?
We thought it was time to give Tommy a home.
The boy? Your boy?
Well, Philip? Do you recognize him? Our little Tommy?
Tommy? But... It's been almost 3 years since I last saw you, Jack. Where on earth did you find him?
I'd almost given up looking for him. Then Tommy found him.
And you decided to come back?
Well, this is our home, after all.
Then what on earth is all this? This miracle?
With the Madonna, we were able to collect donations for your priory and for Kingsbridge.
Really?
We can start anew. We can rebuild the cathedral.
What's the catch?
I'll get to be master builder.
Why?
I've studied the cathedrals, churches, and houses they build in France and Spain. I saw how different their constructions were, with new shapes, colors, and ideas. Oh, you should have seen it. They combined rib vaulting and pointed arches. I want to do that. That's why.
Why here?
Because this is home.
The townspeople probably think that's enough to build a whole cathedral. But to me, it looks like about £100. You know, that won't even pay for a year's work.
Like all of this, it's a symbol. Enough for a fresh start.
And the Madonna will stay here. Kingsbridge will attract visitors and donations again.
You mean I should be thankful for these lies and tricks?
Jack! Aliena! You came back!
We wanted to see you, little sister.
Oh, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. But look at you!
Tommy.
How are the others?
Alfred left Kingsbridge. Catface shows up every now and then. And Ellen returned to the forest.
We need to visit her.
Father lives with her now.
What's wrong, Martha?
I'm glad you're back.
I am too.
She looks like she's about to cry.
She will weep for your suffering, Kingsbridge. She knows your pain.
What now?
The mirror.
Her eyes are wet.
Her eyes.
Look at her. Heaven.
They're shining.
She cannot hold her.
She is made.
Why are you weeping?
She is mute ever since her husband died.
The Madonna has suffered as I have. She understands.
It seems through her faith in all of your lies, Mary has found a miracle. We can't keep trying to repair Kingsbridge. Things are not improving. We're struggling to keep things.
But we can't afford to hire help.
Without farming and fairs, we're back to Prior James's time.
All these past years, my advice was good enough for you. But it appears you've changed your mind now.
It is time we started doing something to wake up and make Kingsbridge what it used to be. We did before and we can do it again.
I'm not willing to accept a risk like that. Don't you remember what happened last time? My, how easy.
I remember.
And still, you put your trust into a group. Philip, why in God's name have you stood by and they're tricking us into giving them money for false idols?
They're not giving us money.
So that we'll place this idol. Do you approve of this?
People need hope, and these travelers are giving them hope. Yes, it is a deception, but with good intentions. Mary speaks again. Is that not a true miracle?
You fell for them. You really did. And now you joy. I'm warning you, I cannot support a prior who...
Your threat, no matter how unconventional, their return and their gift are a blessing.
You made your decision, Philip of Gwynedd. I resign. I'm...
You got so big, Tommy. And you're just as shy as your father was.
Don't let him fool you. Usually, he's always up to something.
We are so proud of you. Of both of you.
Is she still here?
Hmm?
Your wife, Agnes.
No. Ellen and Martha moved her to Kingsbridge. She got a proper burial this time.
Will you come back with us too?
Would you want that?
Yes. I need your help with the cathedral. Philip and I have...
We'll come.
Ellen, we found Jack's family in Cherbourg.
The place he came from wasn't Cherbourg, it was Cherbourg.
But... really? What were they like?
They were good people.
His grandmother said Jack looked just like...
He does. But they never came for him, or...
They thought he was dead. His ship sunk. He'd always wanted to go to England.
Have you ever heard of the king's family drowned?
My father was there. He was the only one who survived.
Not for long.
You told me that he was accused of stealing a chalice.
Yes, but I heard the story and had to find out what he looked like. He told me his name. I fell in love. I helped him escape. But in the end, they caught up with us.
What happened then?
They hanged him. I was there. And you were there, Jack. But you weren't born yet. He was led to the gallows. Everyone was quiet. The people somehow knew he was not a thief. But I knew for sure. He told me. He was so afraid. He didn't want to die. I didn't want him to die. And I prayed. Then I heard his voice. Quiet.
Sang sweeter than ever, as if the falling melody might wing and net dissever. At dusk the hunter took his prey, the lark his freedom net.
No! No!
You said that 3 men were responsible for Father's death.
Who were they?
The Sheriff of Shiring, Percy Hamley, Prior James of Kingsbridge, and Archdeacon Waileran Bygod. They showed no mercy. Neither did I.
I curse you! All of you! He will return to haunt you! One day, you will be judged for what you did. Your houses shall be consumed by fire. Your life shall end in pain and agony. You shall grow old in sadness and regret.
The people they killed will return to haunt them. I promised them.
We welcome our new prior, Remigius. He helped to recover the bones of the Saint of Kingsbridge, Adolphus, already rests safely in this. Our master builder Alfred promised me that it will only, and the Earl of Shiring has promised to support us. But he has not done so for himself. No, the Earl is not a selfish man. His mother, Lady... More and more I feel the sickness of war, poverty. I asked him, begged him to walk up. But God told me that only when this great... No matter the cost, this shall be a towering castle. With this cathedral, we...
Waileran Bygod.
Jack, what are you doing here?
My father died by your hands, Waileran. His name was Jacques Cherbourg.
How dare you talk to the bishop like that?
He died right here.
Who are you?
I know that man. He's that bastard from Kingsbridge.
That man is my husband.
You?
All of you, listen to what we have to say. From now on, Kingsbridge is protected.
By our knights, by our walls, and by the word of the king.
So whatever you do, we will defend our town, our market and fulling mills.
And our cathedral, which we shall rebuild. all workers are invited to come and work for us.
Preposterous.
If you so much as try to bring harm to us, Bishop, we will make sure that you pay for everything you did.
It had been 3 years. 3 years of drought. 3 years of hunger and poverty. England was brought to its knees. Only our walls had kept us safe from the bands of outlaws raiding towns and villages. Bishop Waleran and William Hamley forced the workers to finish their cathedral in Shiring. Many had died. The work on our own cathedral had almost come to a halt. 4 weeks the storm had raged on. It was then that our cathedral gave up its last secret. And everything changed.
Tom! I told you wouldn't like the sight of this.
It looks bad, but it's not the wall I'm worried about. It's good you sent the workers home during the storm. Now do us all a favour and do the same. Go home. Your children hardly get to see you. Tommy and Sally have been asking about... You'll kill yourself up here!
That crack down there must have been due to the storm. If the storm works, I work.
My cathedral was never designed to be this high.
I know! I reinforced the... It cannot be the height.
What else was damaged? I'd look myself, but I dare. If your mother knew I was up here at all, she'd kill me.
Both of us.
What?
She would kill...
Careful over there!
If we don't find out what's causing this, then the whole east wall will come down. The storm is making...
If you're right. What about Alia?
She should be on her way...
Oh, I hope she's all right.
Yeah, I hope so.
No. That won't help solve...
Now's not the first... The roof looks all right. I don't think we have a problem. I'm not done here yet. You think the cause of the problem is up here?
Well, the wall ruptured up here first.
It could be the storm.
That's true. But something's wrong somewhere. Now that we're up here.
No need.
The vaulting is cracked.
Over here, the vaulting looks...
If the vaulting was unstable, it could pull the wall inward, especially with this storm putting pressure on the wall.
We have to find...
How?
If I widen these cracks, we'll see if our problem gets worse or not.
Oh, I don't like
that. Me neither. If I make it worse, then we'll...
You're probably right.
All right. One more time.
And? What happened?
If the vaulting were unstable, this part should have collapsed and the wall would retract.
So, the cause of our problem is not up here?
No.
When we erected the eastern wall 17 years ago, no matter what we did, it all went... Remember?
Yes, but this is not the same wall.
Still, could the cause not...
The crypt!
Huh. How kept the whole foundation...
But it never had to carry the...
You're right. If the cause of our problem is down there... You go ahead.
Don't you need help?
I'll manage, just...
Are you sure?
Go on. I know you...
Neither can... I'll just take...
They were enraged. Bishop Henry thinks that the Pope should hear about what you wrote.
I think...
Philip, I really am worried.
There is no need for you to... It is just...
The problem is that the people love your sermons. And what you wrote. Your book is being copied in priories all over...
Is that not a good thing, if our message...
In desperate times, hope can be a powerful...
That is very true. True.
Well, I fear the bishops...
Huh?
You'll be happy when I get...
Jack!
Have you been atop the cathedral?
Don't worry, Philip. The storm is... Jonathan, did you and the others come directly from Winchester?
Yes, we did.
What about Aliena?
She stayed a day longer for the fleece. She should be on her way back now.
In this storm?
We didn't expect it to get worse.
No one did.
I am sure she'll be alright.
I need to go. I think I...
Yes?
What? I'm not sure, but I think the answer...
I better wait for Tom. I know he doesn't want to miss anything.
Now it's down here, too. The first cracks are showing.
That means we were right. The cause of the instability must be down here.
The ground.
Could be.
The drought could have made it worse.
We'll find out. That definitely...
It wasn't.
This is the spot. Let's find out what the real problem is. The old wall here. If there's dry sand behind there, we know it's the ground.
Just be careful. If it's the ground and the foundation.
Here we go.
But
what?
I think I can feel a draft.
What?
One more time.
Can you see well enough?
Yeah.
Jack, watch out!
It's all right.
What is it?
Dear God. These stones, they've been removed before.
The mortar is missing on most of them.
Whoever put them back just added some mortar on top of the stones to hide the fact that they were removed. The tile at the bottom was completely loose.
What does that mean?
I think it was an entrance.
An entrance? To where?
That's what we'll find out.
Careful now. You've got the whole east wall on top of you.
Jack?
Jack? I'm all right. I just hit my head. It's dark in here. There's a whole room here. A chamber.
What's that?
I'll get a torch.
Philip, I'll get it. You stay here.
That's not wood. It's metal. Gold, even. Maybe Philip... No. It's... Oh... What is that? Oh, this sand. Huh? It's a...
What?
There's a bed in...
What? Jonathan, we need... I have the torch.
All right. Should be safe.
Yes.
Did you know about this place?
No. No, I did not. I've seen this chalice before, when I was very young. It's the chalice of the Eucharist from Kingsbridge Cathedral. Cuthbert told me about it. They said it was stolen.
And melted down, I know. Mother told me. They also said it was my father who did it.
Did they?
So he's innocent then?
He must be.
And whoever hid the chalice is responsible for his death. They hanged him in Shiring for stealing this chalice. But it was here all along.
That scourge, the whip. It belonged to Prior James. I was afraid of it when I first visited Kingsbridge with Francis and Abbot Peter. Even the look of it scared me.
James. Maybe it was him. I think I saw him during the night of the fire in the cathedral. When the old cathedral burned down. There was a man in the fire. His shoulders were bloody, as if he had chastised himself.
It is you! By God and the devil!
He told me that he had sinned, that he had done something to me. Perhaps because I looked like my father.
So he confessed for framing your father while he hid the cup here?
But it couldn't have been James you saw. James died weeks before the fire.
Did he? You said they never found his... Maybe he hid down here.
Wait. Jack, you were in the burning cathedral. What were you doing there?
And then I told Philip what I'd done. He just looked at me. didn't say anything.
Wailerin, what do you want?
Do you think it is wise to resign yourself to gluttony at times like these, while your people starve on the streets of Shiring?
Don't play the saint. You promise them miracles, and you make them pay. But your miracles never work out, do they?
God works in ways that we cannot comprehend.
My mother cannot walk. You failed. Again. What do you want?
I came about a book.
The Bible again?
No. Philip of Gwynedd wrote it. And the church is displeased. Bishop Henry was enraged. This is our chance, William.
Your chance, you mean? If you need forces, talk to Walter or Ugly. I don't care. I built your fucking cathedral. I'm done.
It's not just about Philip. It's about Aliena and her family.
Don't mention that name.
But have you not heard? King Stephen and Maud's son just signed a peace treaty.
I don't care.
You should care.
I said I don't. Now leave and don't come back. Where's my wife?
They've not returned yet, Lord William.
Then get me a whore! Now!
I am sorry for intruding, but I must ask you for shelter. I was on my way from the Fleece Fair in Winchester to King...
Nasty, isn't it?
Yes. Thank you for your hospitality.
Someone! Help me! Please! I need help!
should keep... Hello? Oh dear, are you hurt?
My horse! It fell! I can't move!
Take my hand! We'll get you inside! We'll only be here until it's safe to leave. We won't bother you. I'm Aliena. What's your name?
Elizabeth.
Breathe, Elizabeth. You're safe now.
Mm-hmm.
She took her in.
Should have let her die. We would all be better off without someone like her.
She's avoiding eye contact. I hope the storm spares your homes and fields.
If only
we still have our life.
And our dignity.
You still have yours.
You should get out of this place as soon as you...
Be assured, I will leave.
I don't like this.
Hey, what are you going to do with that?
I'm just going to borrow it.
Let's try to get along until the storm passes. Hold your horses. We'll see what happens.
Thank you.
Hey, that's our blanket.
Can't you see she's freezing?
It's all right. It's just a blanket.
I'm only keeping it for...
We don't have much, but always enough for...
She doesn't deserve anything.
Take a bowl and go. Shush! Let her eat.
Thank you.
What's she doing now?
Eat this. You must be...
Thank you.
Why are you giving her soup? Dirt. That's what she deserves for...
What? Please, don't start.
Oh, you're so kind. Many people would have let me die. People don't listen to me. My entourage didn't even notice they lost me.
Who?
My husband and his entourage.
A fine husband you have. I divorced my last one for
Divorced? Oh, he's just been beside himself.
Maybe now you'll understand what loss feels like. And what you people are doing to us.
Stop bullying her! How do they know you? This isn't...
Oh, I'm used to it. I guess he has to do a lot of things people don't like. And sometimes they recognize me.
Wait. Is your husband the Earl of Shiring?
I thought you knew.
William Hamley.
Oh, please don't abandon me too. I swear, I'm not... I can't...
I used to know him when I was a girl.
Really?
Why did you marry him?
My parents arranged it. And it was an honor to be picked.
What's he like now?
I loathe him with all my heart. How do you know him?
We came from noble families. In fact, I was supposed to marry him at one point.
No! How come you didn't?
I found him unbearable. So I refused.
You refused him?
It caused a lot of misery.
You're so courageous. I wish I was like you. I can't even stand up to the servants.
Don't act like you didn't have a hand in the downfall of this land. For years he roamed across the country. He's no earl, after all he's taken from us.
She has nothing to do with this. Don't you dare touch. Can't you see? She's another one of his.
Oh, give over. She's in on it too.
Can you even imagine how it must be to be a child married to Hamley? The abuse and the humiliation, every single... I'm so sorry. I'm enough to know your pain.
Sam, where the hell am I supposed to tether this horse?
It's Walter.
Quick, take this.
That should do it.
Walter.
You? I've not seen you in a long time. William would be very pleased if I brought him your head.
No! Don't harm her! If it wasn't for her, I'd be dead. She saved me from the storm.
Did she now? Come on, we have to get back to the castle. We've lost too much time already.
Elizabeth stays with me.
No, she doesn't.
Thank you for saving me and protecting me from these people.
Come on now, we need to get going. William is waiting.
Dear Francis, the letters I have written to you over the years surely could be bound into a book. But it is different with the book I have written. It is because of my book. But that is not the only thing that keeps me. Behind a wall in our crypt, we do not know who, but it is likely that Prior James hid there. That means he was alive when we met him the day of his burial. And Jack told me he saw a man in the... Was that him? And if so, did he burn... Jonathan worries about my book. The Divine Soul. In Winchester, he heard that Bishop Henry was less than... I am not naive enough to... I wrote that hope is godly. And since Henry sells hope, and I am giving it away for... If the church should ask me to clarify my position, but I feel I must give... And how could I write anything else if... The dust storm and the drought. Thanks to our town wall, we are safe from the Earl and the out. We've heard of places nearby being raided. We believe we have enough food to last us another few. But life, Martha believes there will be rain. That the storm is only a half. I hope that she... It must be well after... With you, about what truly... Jack told me that he was responsible for... I know that it was a long... He told me, and I don't think Tom knew.
My God. The Saint! Look, we must save the Saint! Fire! The whole roof is in flames!
My God!
Don't go in there! Adolphus! The Saint! We must save him! No! No! Don't go!
And as horrible as it may, I cannot find it. Maybe because this confession, and from a man who I have learned to trust. This... I should get some air, Francis. The storm has settled down. I know them by, but Jonathan... I don't like... If James died in that fire, then what happened to his remains? And that... But I would have been more than content. Hello? I thought I saw someone. That came from the kitchen.
Oh, it's you.
You start...
I thought I... Was that you?
No, but I heard it.
No. No, she's asleep. She returned... Damn it. Sorry. There's someone in the...
Yes.
Stay behind. I'll go ahead. There's someone in here.
Outlaws. They are probably just after. I will talk to them, all right? Please. Listen. Oh! We don't mean you harm.
Philip, be careful! Damn it! Philip, throw me a stone!
Ah! Jack, no! It's him. Brother Marcus.
Brother Marcus?
He took Cuthbert's keys to steal food here from the kitchen. Because of me, Remigius found out. And he left. We never saw him again.
Looks like he came back. You didn't mean for this to happen.
No, but...
What about him? Don't be afraid.
Ah! Why did you do that, you animal? I will get the others.
No!
What?
He's just a child.
Just a child. Jack forgave the child, just like that. And I forgave him. For that was what he had been when he arrived in Kingsbridge. Just a child. Who was I to judge this man for not confessing earlier what he had done? I had never told his wife, Aliena, that I was responsible for her fate, and for her father. Even that night, when we all met,
The walls of Kingsbridge weren't enough anymore. The outlaws had found a way. We weren't safe in our homes.
So, Kingsbridge was attacked, and you two twigs were our only defense.
Why didn't Catman chase them away?
Sir Catface, Sally.
Now, do not exaggerate. This is not a siege.
We only saw two of them, and one of them was a child.
But they almost killed you.
They were just looking for food.
It's the drought. It destroyed all the crops. They must eat.
The drought it is indeed, meaning that there will be many more.
If we had a decent Earl, the people...
It is all too easy to blame a desperate.
It is.
But
Can you? Forgive.
I already...
Hamley is the reason for this.
Well, there's some good news at least. With the Treaty of Wellingford.
What treaty? Winchester is in turmoil about this right now. Stephen and Maud have signed the treaty. Maud's son, Duke Henry, is to be crowned the next king.
And, by agreement, all lands...
But Stephen will continue to rule.
Meaning that the earldom will go to the next male heir of Lady... That would be you.
What?
It will not.
Why the bloody hell not?
Bloody hell.
Language?
No one will enforce this until Stephen is dead.
We only have to wait till Maud's son sits on the throne, don't we? And then ask him for help.
And if Hamley were to fight the decision...
Well, if they're hungry, can't we just... I'll share.
We should, and we will.
We must do something.
Well, I cannot sit quietly and wait until Stephen dies of old age. The Treaty of Wallingford is in place. I won't wait for another 17 years.
True. But last night, it wasn't that Hamley boy who attacked us. It was a bunch of...
Well, what do we do?
If we're smart, we could use them.
Use them?
It's been done before. If we set up the outlaws to assault William Hamley, it'd solve both our problems, wouldn't it? And while they're distracted bashing their heads in...
I won't have any of that.
What about his mother? I've heard that Hamley still listens to her.
Yes, let's tell his mother.
If we spoke to Regan Hamley, we might not need a...
Speak to that wench? I'd rather let my blade do the talking. I say it's time, even if I'd have to lead an army.
I don't like either choice, to be...
Neither do I. So...
I will talk to the outlaws. Maybe we can find someone who can... And if there's no one, then we will...
I'll ride with you.
You won't, Cub. Not with that leg of yours.
Your mother's right, boy. And too many gingers showing up at their cave might make...
Our hopes of meeting allies on the road to Shiring were fading with every mile. The only people we saw was... I'd heard that Wigley had just been raided by outlaws, leaving them almost entirely without cattle. Maybe someone there knew where the raid... As we reached Wigley, we met a farmer tending to a scrawny chicken. She told us that Hamley had claimed ownership of all their cattle. Shortly after that, the cattle, some say they recognized the thieves, neighbors who had once lived among them. We entered the village. There was a weary young man trying to repair a roof. He pointed toward... That was until a few days ago. Hamley had come to collect his share, and due to the fact... The fields of Huntly spurred fond memories. Here I'd negotiate. Soon we reached Uncle Simon's abandoned hut. Our horses needed rest, so we wanted to leave them there while we looked around on foot. Then I remembered how Richard had been kicked. I asked him where he got bread in times like these. Was it stolen? No, I got it from the butcher. The people at Sally's quarry told me to ask the butcher, he blurted out. Before we could ask more, the frightened man jumped up and fled into the forest. The butcher... The abandoned quarry was teeming with activity. Many poor souls were gathering around a fireplace, boiling. We walked slowly towards them. I sensed that Sir Catface was ready to draw his sword. The first one to... All eyes darted towards us. Their reactions were as varied as their faces. Some looked afraid, curious, and confused. Where can I find the butcher? I asked. Their faces expressed anger and fear. I explained that we were looking for food. They told us that the butcher was still in Monksfield, but that meat would come every couple of days. We're looking for the butcher.
The butcher of Monksfield has long since moved away.
Damn!
No need for cursing, young man. If you bring me an animal, I can prepare it for you.
Do people call you the butcher, then?
Why'd you ask? What do you want?
Do you have a lot of outlaws passing by?
You don't see it in their faces, dear. But we all have...
I asked because we feel this, and we're looking for a way to make things right again.
Is that so?
We're looking to build an army, to invade Earl's...
Oh, my. If it was that easy, someone would... The poor souls I meet, they're just simple people. They're not an army.
One of their own should lead them. Like you. You seem to take great care of your people.
In their condition, most of them can barely kill a chicken, let alone a man. These people...
Right.
She speaks true. It is the best chance we have. This is a battle for the sake of the people.
It's rubbish. It's what it is.
We are offering you a chance to rid the land of Hamley.
The last time I saw you, you showed kindness to... I am willing to listen to a good soul.
That woman that was here, that you helped, that was Hamley's wife. His wife, by God. How stupid you think we are?
Right, it's a trap.
Well, how can these people put their life at risk if they do not trust you? You are not like us.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, I know what it's like to live in poverty. But I also know that if one fights the right battles, that things can change for the better.
But they're starving, my child. They are weakened by poverty, hunger, and illness. Who are you to think you can face William Hamley?
Yeah.
You!
I am the rightful heir to the Earl of Shiring. I've been born and raised for this, and will raise my son in the same...
You think that makes you better? William Hamley is a...
We won't bow to the current Earl, and neither...
Yeah.
Right.
Even if we work together...
You ask us to sacrifice our lives for your noble cause, these people will die.
We too will make the same sacrifices. I only ask of you what I myself am willing to give. If anything happens to you, it will also happen to me.
You have noble principles, I see.
Yeah.
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 I said it before. We all have lost everything, except for our lives. We don't fight other people's battles.
But maybe this is our battle too.
My people will decide for themselves. But I will tell them that I believe that it is in...
I thank you.
I pray that it...
We will all pray.
After 17 years, I finally returned to the place I'd once called home. There was a small army of famished outlaws hiding in the surrounding woods waiting for my signal to attack. Led by my loyal knight, Sir Catface. But I had to be sure that Elizabeth was safe. The poor girl who in my stead had been doomed to become William Hamley's wife.
Get in line and stay in line.
You'll all get your chance to pay your dues to Lord Hamley, you hear? So no pushing.
Calm yourself. I'll make sure. They took a woman in my town. She never came back. Nothing will happen to you. Are you all right?
What do you think? Of course I'm more all right than anyone else. Just because Lord Hamley insists on women to deliver the tributes, don't mean you have to send fools.
Why does Lord Hamley need all that food? He's got more than enough.
Shut it, woman. Smear your face with dung and lower your head is the only way you get out of here alive.
Is Lady Elizabeth home?
She is, and will be indefinitely. Don't want her to get lost in another storm. Patience, patience.
Have you seen a young blonde girl in a green dress? No, I haven't. She's William Oh, that... I'm just a shepherd's daughter. I have no business here.
Shut up.
Let me pass.
Ha! Wait till...
I want to go home.
Oi, you there. Yes, I meant you. That's a pretty face you got there. You're coming with me.
What? Leave her. Take me.
Well, you'll walk to the other side of the yard and talk to him. You'll get you settled.
They say Lord Hamley might lose shiring soon. What if the next Earl has us all...
Calm down. None of these royals really care.
I know those two. They... May I interrupt?
What is it?
How can you fight for someone like... My father was nothing...
Oh, dear Lord.
You always sat in your neat little keep playing hostess to his well-off guest, while the poor snuffed it just as...
Well, at least William treats us as his equals, and not like...
Was my father really that bad?
Your mother could have answered that question.
He once told me that she was very unhappy when she died.
And you never wondered why?
I'm looking for Lady Elizabeth Hamley.
She's caring for Lady Regan inside the keep.
But only Lord William and Walter are allowed to go there.
And they'll kill you if they find you there.
So you won't help me?
We've already helped you more than enough by not ratting you out.
My father was...
Keep on telling yourself that.
Many knights fighting for him were former outlaws who had nowhere to go anymore. Your father may have given us food and shelter, but it was no better than what you'd give to livestock.
Don't tell anyone that you saw me.
We won't, if you promise to leave.
Are you done yet?
Almost. Let me just see if I took enough. What are you... You need to... Don't come any closer.
What's taking...
I for... Wait a moment. Then... We don't have much time. Hugh will look for me any moment. So why did you come?
I'm waiting!
There's an army of outlaws hiding in the woods waiting for my signal. You need to be out of the way when they come.
But I mustn't leave.
They're very angry at your husband's family, and I want you to be safe.
Will people die?
Not if I can prevent it.
You need to save Lady Regan.
I will, if you...
Is that a promise?
It is.
All right, I will try to sneak.
Hurry up in there, or do you want me to come in and pull you?
I need... maybe Walter can take you to Lady Regan.
Walter?
Don't call him that. He's not... William won't allow me to talk to him. Now Lady Regan is... Please, please be careful.
I will. Thank the Lord she may... Now, I have to find... I shouldn't get... I shouldn't draw... Elizabeth claims you aren't such a bad person after all.
Am I not? Have you forgotten that I killed your family's steward?
You got problems over there, Walter?
I would be a better ruler than my father. I know my father wasn't always a good and just person. He killed, just as William does. But I would fight to be better. I would listen to the...
What are you saying?
I need to talk. I want you to take me.
You've got guts, I'll give you. So, you think I'm a nice bloke? And you think this is enough to convince me that you'd be a better ruler than anyone who came before? Don't make me... Hugh!
What?
If you let me go, I promise I will end William Hamley's reign.
I don't believe you. But it's not up to me to judge these things. I'll take you to Lady Hamley. She'll decide. My lady?
Elizabeth.
She's not here, but there's someone else to see you. The Lady Aliena of Shiring.
The Lady Aliena. When did that bitch become nobility again?
I didn't know you were so ill.
Oh, don't you dare.
I'm certain you've heard about the treaty the king made with Duke Henry at Wallingford Castle.
I have. I have also heard that it's a muddled mess.
It is a complicated deal indeed, but one that will end the war. And one that makes my family the rightful owners of this earldom once more.
Only by word. There's no one who would come to enforce this, not even the king.
You need to understand that there is great anger among the peasants of Shiring. Anger against your son, against you, even against that poor woman, Elizabeth. If your son doesn't step down, the people will take their land back by force.
That's a lie. My William is a better earl than your father ever was. To think that I once wanted to marry my good William into a family like yours. Not a day goes by when I am not glad that God... Where is my Elizabeth?
Why do you care so much about that poor girl?
She is family. That is the way I would have cared for you. If you...
No. You know what kind of man your son is. And because of...
My son?
I promised your son's wife that I'd make certain you'd be safe.
Safe from what? From a pack of impotent monks?
I have an army outside the gates, ready to attack.
What?
Get Elizabeth. I want her at my side when the fighting starts.
She's gone.
Gone? What do you mean? Gone where?
I told her to leave Earl's Castle. She suffered enough under your son.
William didn't lay a finger on her.
He did. More than once, milady.
That is a lie.
It's up to you if this ends in a bloodbath or not.
Oh!
It's all up to you.
Go get him, you bastards!
They're coming.
Mother, we're being attacked.
What's going on here? What's that bitch doing here?
She's trying to bargain.
She's trying to take everything.
Is she? Is she now?
Leave it.
Shut up, old man. Cut that whore up, Walter!
No. You brought this on yourself.
You bloody traitor! Someone get up here! Men! You will pay. You will all pay for this.
Now, we tell his men.
Stop! Stop fighting! Drop your weapons immediately!
Raise the banner!
Everyone, listen! Lord Hamley is dead! The castle now belongs to the former Earl's family again.
What? You're shitting us!
It was the King's wish.
Who killed him?
He died by my hand. My name is Lady Aliena of Shiring. I'm the daughter of Bartholomew, the former Earl of these lands. I've been tasked to end the tyranny of William Hamley and restore order to Shiring.
Our occupation of Shiring has been made unlawful. Every attack on us is sanctioned by the King of the English.
So what will happen to us then?
You will get your chance for redemption by helping the people of Shiring recover from your own cruelty, and by rebuilding their homes and tending to their fields.
Are you sure this is what you want, my lady? Forcing Tormentus and Tormented to work together might not end very well.
They can end like William, or they can learn to redeem themselves.
Well, you know what you're doing.
The tyranny of William Hamley is over. In the name of the new Earldom of Shiring, the land will be finally healed. now, send a messenger to Kingsbridge to let Prior Philip know. What is it? Why are they laughing?
You can send a messenger if you want. But there won't be much of a prior left when he arrives.
Sir Catface, get me a horse.
The Pope believes we should either burn him or make him Bishop of Kingsbridge.
I have already taken matters into my own... My men arrested him while Kingsbridge...
While his friends took Earl's Cup?
Yes.
At least in his death, William Hamley was...
Look at all these people. Seems like they're enjoying themselves.
They never change. You drooling dogs should be ashamed!
Shut up, you old hag! Ellen?
I'm not feeling...
I'll take care of you. You two go ahead. Hurry up!
Is your mother ill?
This is...
The trial begins. The judges. Brother of Stephen, King of the English. The Right Reverend Bishop Henry of Winchester. Her Highness, the Countess Lady Aliena of Shire. Presiding over the trial. The Right Reverend Waileron Bygone.
Please. The Church is not without fault. We have gathered here today to accuse one of our own. He wrote in his book that the Church and the papacy are not necessary as intercessors between God and man. That God is in man. Now, we ask, for his is the kingdom. Not ours, and not yours. You stand accused of heresy. Philip of Gwynedd, how do you plead? Answer!
Prior, respond to Bishop Waileron.
I am guilty.
Hang it, heretic! You must be punished! I am deeply saddened. It may come as a surprise to you, but we had hoped to make you Bishop of Kingsbridge. Why has it come to this, Philip?
In part, I am to blame. I supported Philip in his early years. I demand that Philip be removed from his position of prior immediately.
No!
And that he remain in captivity until such time that Shiring and all of England...
No!
What? Yes?
You are accusing Philip because he has defied you.
I made him prior, and grateful he was not. But no, I accuse him because his teachings are false. And I intend to prove that Philip's decisions have been more than misguided in the past. Call in Remigius.
The Prior of Shiring, Father Remigius.
My bishop.
Tell the court, Remigius.
For many years, I served first for Prior James.
What was your first impression of...
I was offended by his bluntness and accusation.
What else?
Prior Philip did not hesitate to give refuge to the people fleeing.
Is that not a good deed? A true...
You do not know him as well as you think you do. Today, that will...
The future master builder of our cathedral and his woman were among those taking... They were living in sin. They were unmarried and Philip...
Why would he do that?
I do not know, my bishop.
Maybe because he himself was involved.
Then, on the day of our first fleece fair...
I heard.
I tried to soothe the woman's pain. The builder's woman I have spoken of tried to put a
And Philip...
Yes. He pushed me aside.
It is worse than I...
It was no poison.
And then there was the day the Virgin Mary's statue. I did not...
Clearly, it is a miracle. I hear...
Yes!
Amen!
Oh, Mary, bless us all!
Well, I soon realized it was. He was only after the money people donate. That is...
He had to! Amen.
I believe there is one more thing. You have not something very...
Yes. Philip has fathered a child!
I knew it!
A son. And he raised him in the priory.
He is guilty!
Jonathan of Kingsbridge.
This is preposterous.
Is it?
Is this true? Are you... Answer the question, Jonathan of Kingsbridge.
Philip has always been like a father to me. But he is not my father.
How do you know that?
He told me.
And how do you know he spoke the truth?
Speak! Answer the bishop.
Philip would never. He told me that I was found in the wood.
In the... Is this true, Philip? Well, you told the story so many times.
My brother found him.
Your brother? The brother whose master you betrayed?
What are you talking?
Philip tried to involve me in a conspiracy against his brother's master. And his ally, Earl Bartholomew. Philip took in all those refugees years ago, as he was for yours. That, Lady Aliena... Well...
I know that he is a troubled man. We've all had to make hard decisions. Decisions that seemed right at the time. When indeed, they were terrible mistakes. I am thankful that I was forgiven when I made a mistake. Now I forgive him. Let us now return to the problem at hand. There is a man who witnessed how Jonathan was found in the forest. A man who can shed light on who Jonathan's father really is.
And who is that?
My husband.
Step forward. What is your name?
He is the master builder of Kingsbridge.
Have you lost your courage?
No, I have not. You know well why it would be hard for me to face you. They call me Jack, after my father. My name is Jack Jackson.
Yes, we have met before.
How old were you when you allegedly saw Jonathan as a child in the woods?
12. But I know what I saw. Philip told the truth.
You were a child. And what were you doing there, in the woods?
I was living in the forest, with my mother.
They were outlaws.
Prior Remigius is the most trustworthy witness we've seen today, and his statement was quite the distant memories of an outlawed child.
He fathered a child!
Let
him
go!
He would never do that!
And yet, Lady Aliena is right. We do not know enough to judge him as harshly as you propose.
You are right. As I said, it is not up to us. Philip of Gwynedd has admitted part of his guilt. We ask God for... As Bishop of Kingsbridge and Shiring, I demand an order.
This is madness!
Philip of Gwynedd will be tried and judged. If he is innocent, if he is not, then he will burn as the heretic.
No! Waileran, by God! Not this time.
It's her.
I saw the child and Francis. I was there. Philip is not the child's father. He is a fool, but he is a good man.
Then, who is the father?
It is me.
They are all in this together. This woman is a witch, living in sin with a... He was hanged in Shiring 30 years ago.
He was not a thief. He was a good man. You've murdered him, Waileran, by God.
What is this nonsense?
He was a thief. He stole a golden chalice and melted it down and sold it.
What chalice?
The chalice of the Eucharist. He stole it from the Cathedral of Kingsbridge.
Sacrilege.
Yes, Prior James of Kingsbridge caught him red-handed.
Is that the chalice? You said it was melted down and sold.
Fall not for their lies. That could be any chalice. This does not...
Where did you find...
In a secret chamber. We believe Prior James hid it because he felt guilty for falsely accusing Jack's father.
What proof do you have?
He told me. The night the cathedral burned down, I was there, I saw him.
Prior James died weeks before that.
No, he did not.
Bishop Henry, he speaks the truth.
Order! I will give you until sunset to produce a witness who can prove your accusations against... Not just this. If you fail to do this, I will make sure you are tried for defamation. Philip of Gwynedd, you will... The trial recommend...
We need a witness.
What are you doing then?
I've seen you draw up plans for a cathedral. Maybe we can do something similar to find our witness. Let's see. Your father.
He looks just like you.
My grandmother said he did.
And Bishop Waileran. What are the connections? Maybe, by exploring...
Good idea.
Bishop Waileran is at the center of all this. Jack's father, if he was...
Maybe he still can. Mother says Waileran was behind my...
And she said he wasn't alone. There were 3 men responsible. Bishop Waileran, Percy Hamley, back then he was the sheriff, and Prior James of Kingsbridge.
If they were all there, then they were...
And only Waileran's still alive.
Hardly a coincidence. Why would these 3 men work together to fall...
He was on the White Ship. No one survived that night. No one lived to...
Yes.
And then they killed him. And what about the ship?
My father wanted to go to England. My father wanted to go to... He was the only one who made it when the white ship sank.
Why would Whaler and Percy and James be concerned about...
The son and heir of King Henry was on board. So were other possible heirs and other members. I heard that Stephen was supposed to be on the ship as well. He was the only male heir. The only threats were the king's daughter Maud and her half...
And your father, Earl Bartholomew. He tried to stop Stephen and paid for that. Maybe my father saw something on the white ship.
What about...
Stephen always claimed that it had been God's will that he remained as the...
That wasn't God. I bet Stephen had a hand...
Now imagine what would have happened if he had learned that someone who might have seen what... If Stephen was responsible for the then he may have wanted the only witness of what really happened.
But he wouldn't have done it himself, of course.
No.
If the white ship is involved, then it's likely that Waleran was told by King Stephen to murder your father.
But he was not king back then. Why would Waleran listen to him?
He was promised to become...
Of course.
Remember, Bishop Henry is Stephen's brother, and back then...
But if Bishop Henry is in on all this, what chance do we have to turn this trial around?
It is a public... All we want is for Philip to go free. We find a witness to expose... Henry would have to play along to appear innocent. It's our best shot. Waleran, Percy and James might have been working for those who sunk the...
The King of the English.
Hardly a coincidence that the three people...
Now.
So...
Waleran was not yet bishop when the Philip told me.
But James still had to do what...
I think that's very likely.
Percy Hamley was poisoned.
One less witness that knew about Waleran.
And Waleran probably wanted William to become Earl.
What about Regan Hamley?
She was taken to her townhouse in Winchester. And in her
William Hamley's father.
Percy Hamley? Well, he could have ordered your father.
But he was arrested and held, and Prior James claimed that my father had committed... Do you think Stephen would have approached...
Because of the white ship? To help him cover up...
I think it's more likely that Waleran contacted... Just like he did when he wanted Percy to arrest my father. Percy could not have become Earl, but then he was killed. Maybe... I don't think the king was very close, otherwise there would have been many arrests. Waleran, Percy and James...
Waleran was James's superior. How a prior...
Not at all, I would...
Except through Bishop Waleran.
Yes.
Now both of them are dead. That can't be a coincidence.
Do you think the king told you?
I find it much more likely. As Archdeacon, Waleran was much...
James was the prior of...
That's where they say your father stole the chalice.
But we know that's not true.
As we found it, Philip recognized the chalice.
But Bishop Henry wants a witness. The chalice isn't enough.
But it's an important lead for us. I think we're getting closer.
Maybe Stephen never came up with the plan to hang your father.
You mean Waleran did it because he heard rumors and... Maybe.
So Waleran and the others claimed your father had stolen a chalice from Kingsbridge Cathedral, and that he sold it?
Yes.
We know that's not...
It's the only way to help Phil.
The chalice was used to kill the last survivor of the white ship.
Yes.
James claimed that but instead James himself hid it in King.
We found his scourge.
That secret chamber is important.
Philip said that Prior James was an honest man, so perhaps Wayler forced him. That might explain why James... The monks still tell the stories about how... Percy Hamley may never have... We're close.
Everyone thought Prior James, and now we know he was hidden away.
Why did his monks believe he was dead?
Sub-Prior Remigius told everyone he had found James Rose, so everyone thought the body had been washed away.
But how is Remigius involved?
Philip told me that Remigius was there when Waylerin made Philip Prior.
That explains why Waylerin later made Remigius Prior of Shiring.
And Remigius recognized my mother when we arrived in Kingsbridge. I think Remigius...
Is it possible that Waylerin told Remigius to make Prior James disappear
when James started talking to the devil?
But for some reason, Remigius hid him away. Yes, that explains why he really...
Where James died after all. And Remigius...
We have to find Remigius.
Let's hurry. The trial will
People know you two. You shouldn't walk around sharp.
He's right.
I'll go look for him.
All right. Take care of... And Jonathan.
Yes?
We will talk later?
All right. Remigius. Now where are you?
No one may approach the pyre.
Why not?
Bishop Henry's orders.
Brothers?
What is it?
Have you seen the Prior Remigius?
And now step back, brother. We must be done by night.
Do you want to go in, Father?
No, not...
Are you not with Prior?
Yes.
I pray that...
He's a good man.
He is a...
You're fool! Look at yourselves! Who are you to judge a man who...
Forgive them!
We don't judge him, but God...
Remigius? I don't think he's here. Wait, was that him? I think I saw him. Have you seen a priest walk through?
No, sorry, I haven't.
All right.
Hey.
Yes?
You're Jonathan, right?
Yes, I am. And who are you?
Never mind, but there's something you should know. Tom Builder. He left you behind because he had no way to feed you. He thought he had no other choice.
How do you know?
He went looking for you an hour later, but you were gone. And when he finally found you in Kingsbridge, he was there for you. But he thought he'd lost the right to be your father.
Just who are you?
Just... I pray they won't burn, Philip.
Can we go home, Dad?
Yes.
Hello? The door's open. Is anyone there?
You had one task.
By God! No!
Our bishop is very displeased.
No! What are you doing?
I'm doing what is asked of me.
Stop it!
No! Stay away! This does not concern you! No!
Who Who told you to do this?
No one.
Why did he do this to you?
I will tell you. I will tell everyone.
Do you have a witness?
Father Remigius, Prior of Shiring.
Where is Timothy?
What they told you is true. Bishop Waleran wanted the jongleur Jacques Cherbourg dead. He ordered our Prior James to frame him. And so he did.
This is a lie!
Is it?
James lost his mind because of what he did for you. He was about to tell everyone the truth. And then you ordered me to kill him.
Nonsense!
Let him speak.
I couldn't do it. I hit him, but he died in the fire. Jack saw him. It was him. I found the bones after the fire, and I buried them.
You should put an end to this, Henry. You really should.
Why would I?
You should stop this, for your own sake. You knew about all this.
Why would I care if that jongleur lived or died?
Your brother cared. The jongleur survived the sinking of the White Ship. He saw how your brother's men killed the king's family so that he could take the throne.
This is preposterous.
Bishop Henry and King Stephen ordered us to kill the man. You want the truth? That's the truth. Right there.
It is not. Waleran is a liar.
Regan Hamley.
Who is she?
I have waited long enough for this day. It is time I raise my voice. The woman, Ellen, she spoke the truth. 3 men were responsible for the death of the jongleur. James, the Prior of Kingsbridge. The Sheriff, my husband, Percy Hamley. But it was Waleran who was behind it. And only Waleran.
No!
He had heard rumors about the White Ship, about our king. He had hoped to win the king's favor by hanging an innocent man.
But it was not just me. They all knew.
Take him away.
This is for taking my husband's life.
It was Waleran!
Oh, we did it. It's over.
Yes, it's over.
Thank you, Lady Hamley.
This monk must learn his lesson.
The Pope would agree. This trial is not over. Philip has admitted to heresy. He challenged the teachings and the authority of the Church. The ordeal of fire will take place. To show that the Church is not above God. To show that my brother, the King of the English, is not above God. Not we, but God shall judge this man.
This is madness!
No! He can't do this!
Philip! No! You cannot do this!
This is now a matter of the church, Lady Aliena. My brother, the king, and I accepted the traitor Waleran into our midst. We were fools and sinners, even if we did not know. I pray that our Lord will save Philip from these flames, for his salvation shall be a salvation for all of us sinners.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven.
Light the pyre!
My God, there must be something we can do!
Stop this madness!
Ah, Philip.
It is so good to...
Tell me, how are things at St. John in the Forest?
Francis is well.
That is wonderful.
Yes, he enjoys... You look worried.
Well, you have a visitor. He just arrived.
Is that not a good thing? Who is it?
That is just it. I wasn't sure if you wanted to see him.
It has been a long time.
Ah, yes, it has. I had to know.
Know what?
The truth is, I never saw God or the devil. Have you?
Oh Lord, deliver us from evil. Our Father, who art in heaven,
My God,
hallowed be
there
thy
must
name.
be something we can
Thy
do!
kingdom come,
Stop this
thy
madness!
will be done on earth as it is
Are
in
you
heaven.
blind? Do you not know that a fire will burn any man, no matter who he is?
Why are you doing this?
After Waleran's words, there is doubt in their hearts about my motives, about my brothers. No words can erase that doubt, but God can. Our Lord is a cleansing fire.
He's still alive. It's a miracle. He is among us. God is here.
How is this possible?
It's all a matter of perspective.
We have to stop this!
No, Jack. Come.
My God.
No, but that's what they see. That's what they believe.
The water. It's dousing the flames. It's a trick.
To them, it's a miracle.
The justice of our church. I believe Philip understands that now. His book will be destroyed. If you or your friends ever mention the White Ship again, I promise you will take Prior Philip's place. And God will not be as forgiving.
Their faith in you and your church is restored. I say it was worth sparing that monk's life. Promise me that Waileran will suffer.
Philip?
Yes?
Did you see God? Did he save you that night?
I told him. He only smiled at me. I never saw him again, as long as I lived.
Philip is back.
Philip!
Philip! We're glad you're back.
Did you walk all the way again?
Just part of it.
Old fool.
Ellen stayed in Kingsbridge, together with Tom. I thought I had lost God, that he did not watch over us. But now I see him every day. He is in the good we do, in how we show our love. Jack's hands had become rough, his hair grey, but his eyes still burned bright like hot coals.
It's good to see you.
Aliena's gaze could be as stern as her father's had been, but her heart and wit made her a leader people did not follow out of fear, but out of respect and loyalty.
Jonathan told us you had a visitor.
Just an old friend.
What do you think of this window?
Jonathan came to look more and more like his father, Tom. As Prior of Kingsbridge, he is also a builder of sorts.
I use mostly warm colours. What good are the large windows if it feels cold?
Sally is as stubborn and as gifted as her parents. It is her stained glass windows the light is falling through. She has children of her own now.
And I'd like to show you the plans for the new cloister.
Tommy will be the next master builder, and is as silent as his grandfather was. Once I heard him admonish his father to be more serious at work. Jack only smiled. He knew Tommy was right. Martha stayed in Kingsbridge as well. She was always there for every one of us.
Is the judge done now? I don't know. Why don't you ask him yourself?
Is the church done now?
It will never be done. Not in my lifetime. Not in yours.
Remember us for what we did, for who we were, and maybe for what we tried to be. And when you turn your eyes to our cathedral, maybe you will see yourself.